Okay, in this problem, number 10, they're telling you that you have a fruit fly population that's increasing exponentially. So because it's increasing exponentially, we're going to use this exponential equation. This is the equation that models an exponential growth. Now, the other information they tell you is that the initial population is 100 fruit flies, and then after 3 days there are 500 fruit flies. So we can start off by plugging in 100 into the p of 0. So right here, when you look at p of 0, this represents the initial value. So if they tell you the initial value is this, or you started out with this, you're going to plug it in into the p of 0. So let's start by doing that. So you have p of t equals 100 times e to the kt. All right, now the next thing we need to do is we need to use this information that they gave us. They told us that after 3 days there are 500 flies. So take this as a coordinate or as a point. I can write this into a coordinate point and say 3, 500. So if I think of this as an ordered pair, 3 is my x and 500 is my y. So that's why they plugged in 500 over here. P of t is like your y, and that's why you see that they plugged in 3 into the k. So the k is like our x. All right, t represents time. So sometimes they'll use x right here instead of k. Oh, I'm sorry, hold on. They plugged it into the t, not the k, sorry. The k represents um, the rate at which they times the time. So we're gonna actually plug it into the t, and then we're gonna solve for k. Because if you notice on letter A, it's asking you to find the equation, to figure out what the equation should be that models the situation. So we just need to figure out the k. We already figured out the p of 0 by plugging in 100. Now let's figure out this one. So first thing here is we're going to divide by 100. And remember, I'm doing this so I can solve for k. This is going to leave me with 5. And I'm going to be left with 3 to e to the 3k over here. Now to undo the e, we need to take the ln of both sides. Take the ln of this side. And then we're going to cancel out right here. And we're going to get 3k equals ln of 5. Finally, divide by 3. And we're going to get ln of 5 divided by 3 equals k. Now for this one, you don't want to go ahead, you don't want to divide this or enter into your calculator and use a decimal because it's going to be off by a little bit. Leave it like this because this is the exact answer. So now we have our equation. Our equation is going to be p of t equals 100 times e to the ln of 5 over 3 times t. Alright, so the equation is now complete. So this is the equation that models the growth right here. So after we come up with the equation, we can start using it now to answer the other questions. So question B, I believe, asks, let me get there first. Hold on. Let's see, this is number 10. Yeah, question B, it says, use the model to determine the approximate fly population after 7 days. So now that we have the equation, we can use it to answer letter B. So after 7 days, that means that we're going to be we're going to plug in 7 into the t. Over on the left side, that's just for notation purposes. You don't need to do anything on this one. On the right side is really where we want to plug in 7 and work with it. So we're going to plug in 7 into t. And then, let me move this down. Okay. We're going to plug in 7 into the t. Hold on, let me pause it. Alright, let's continue. So right here we are doing letter B. So we're supposed to plug in 7 into t, so let me plug it in. And now let's evaluate. So now we need to multiply. So first thing we need to do is let's calculate ln of 5 divided by 3. So ln of 5 divided by 3. Let me get my calculator. Let's see what it's going to be. Alright, ln of 5 divided by 3. That's 0.5, and then times. So after we calculate this, we need to multiply by 7. Okay, that's 3.755. And then after we do that, we need to take the e of 3.755. So let's go ahead and do e. That's 2.71. And then after that, we need to multiply by 100. So that gives me 271. Let me see if that matches up with the answer. So let me pause the video. Okay, here we go. So I pressed the wrong button on the calculator, so it was actually a different number. So let me do it again. So e to the ln of 5 divided by 3. So ln of 5 divided by 3 is 0.5, and then times 7, that's 3.75. Alright, and then the next thing we need to do is we need to take the we need to calculate e to the 3.75. That's 42.749. Finally, we need to multiply by 100, so we get 4274.9. Alright, 0.94. And there it is. The population after 7 days would be 4,274. And that's letter B. So let's go ahead and letter C now. Alright, so the last thing is go ahead and try this one, Sochin. It's the same as the previous one. You have an initial population of 70, and after 4 days, the population is at 450. So just use the same equation, same process.